My co-host Leslie Swirl and Miss Lasha G, y'all already know.
Hey.
Tony Bling, y'all already know. But I have with me Mr. Paul Jackson.
Yes, ma'am.
And my brother, Mr. Kevin Little here.
Well, all right.
So I'm quite sure this is going to be a hot topic. I'm very excited about today's show. And I'm also excited because for the first time, the men outnumber the women.
That is true. Wow, I didn't even notice that.
Finally. That took some... This is the first time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I was like, wait a minute, maybe I messed up. Finally, the men outnumber the women. And I really wanted that. More so for all of the shows for the month, but definitely for this show. And then we got our producer and our engineer, so we got a lot of testosterone in here today. We might gotta pull it up, but that's all right because we strong. We strong
with a C.
Strong. With a strong.
Yes.
Strong.
I mean, how you pronounce it?
Strong.
There you go. So last week's topic was media, our fathers in mainstream media and their disappearing act, basically, or the minimizing of our fathers in mainstream media. And I'm not sure if we ever got the resolution was in order to really fix that, we need our own, support our own.
Pretty much.
That's basically how we sum that up. But this week we are talking about our fathers, continuing our conversation with our fathers, and the subject for these next 2 weeks topic is taking fathers. And this first part is called A Father's Tale.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
All right. What's up, family? Welcome to the first official Black by Demand radio show. I'll be your host, Michael Harrison Jr., a.k.a. Brother Mike. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. We apologize. We run a little bit behind today, having some technical difficulties, but this is what happens with your first show. So I was actually told that this is a good sign, starting off this way. So anyway, welcome to the first Black by Demand radio show. I want to welcome my guest co-host, Mr. Walker Stanton of Fading Theory Barbershop. That's right here in Baltimore on Harford Road. So welcome, Mr. Stanton, to the first Black by Demand radio show, and you as the first official guest co-host of the first show. So we want to welcome Mr. Stanton.
Absolutely, brother. Glad to be here in the house. Technical difficulties happen, but
Right.
we're here to do it.
We work it out. Okay, so next beside him, we got our guest, Mr. Jay Capone of Top of the Line Cuts. Jay, thank you for sitting in with us.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Welcome everybody to the first Black by Demand radio show. So, right from the beginning, let's do this, man. Let's talk about this show. Let's talk about the mission. We good? All right. Yeah. So let's talk about the mission of this show, so that way everybody has clarity on what we're trying to achieve here, right? Okay. So, the mission of the show, right? It's going to be to discuss black business, black matters, right? We're going to touch on issues that we feel is relevant to black lives, and then we're going to offer facts, perspectives, and opinions. Please take note, everyone, of what I just said. Facts, perspectives, and opinions. So some of the things you hear, it's just going to be our opinion. It's just going to be how we feel about the situation. This show is actually sponsored by BlackByDemand.com. If any of you guys are not familiar with BlackByDemand.com, it is the website that's been created to be a one-stop shop for black business, please visit blackbydemand.com. If you're a business owner, please place an ad on there so that we can locate these black businesses. And as far as consumers, if you have items you want to sell, job listings, job postings, Black by Demand is the place to post this. This is officially our Black Craigslist, so let's take full advantage of that. So this is sponsored by blackbydemand.com. Okay, gentlemen, so like I said, welcome to the first show. So the first show, what we want to talk about is black business, supporting black business, and should we do more? So that's going to be the first topic we're going to touch basis on. So when it comes to black business, should we do more?
Absolutely.
Jay?
Just going back to the way I was born, I'm from the South. So 9 times out of 10, you occupy your space, you deal with family and friends, and you support each other. It's kind of say the church backbone, where you look out for each other, you ride for each other, we take care of our own
Right.
first, and then we go do what we have to do. But as far as getting ahead in life, we gotta really take care of each other.
Yeah, we got to learn to give more support to black businesses, and there is definitely a rhyme and a reason for that, the benefit for us. Now, Mr. Walker, as a business owner of a barbershop, tell me how you feel as far as black people supporting black businesses. Do you feel like there's a need for us to give more support, or are we doing okay with it?
Okay. Well, actually, there's a very big need to do more. Yes, we do have our clients. We do have our core support team.
Right.
But as a whole, we as a people, black people, obviously can do more. Not just for barbershop, just business in general.
Right.
We have much more we can do and spend our dollars. In fact, I pulled out some basic information online about black buying power that I can
Okay.
share with the audience now.
Yeah. Please do.
Okay, so this is just pulled from online, but between 2010, 2015, let's see, got it. Buying power grew from $995 billion to $1.3 trillion. That's 27% growth. That's just between 2010 and 2015. So clearly, $1.3 trillion shows that we have some significant buying power.
Buying power, definitely.
We're not talking about chump change.
Right.
I can think of a lot of things I can do with 1.3 trillion.
Yeah, I could probably do a few things with that.
A lot of things.
So, speaking on that, the number of black households with an income of 100,000 or more grew to 1.1 million during that same time frame. It looks like right now we're approaching 2 million households over $100,000 a year. So we actually are making some money and growing as a unit.
Right. We definitely have consumer power. You know, we have consumer power, so that's what Black by Demand is all about. We're trying to get everybody to recognize where we have power at. And a big area that we have power is with spending. We spend a lot of money each year. The problem is we are not spending it with black businesses.
Right.
So when it comes to certain issues that deal with us as a community, right, I believe that we have to stop thinking that someone else is going to solve our community problems when we got access to our own spending power. So if we just simply learn to start directing a portion of what we spend towards black businesses, I think it can change some things, because we're not understanding the actual game that we are in, you know. And in this game, this society has produced, whatever team you on, you have to give support to that team. And I think a lot of black people struggle with that understanding. You know, like, we don't expect you to spend every single penny you got only with black businesses, but we have to support more black businesses, because this is the only way we're going to take ourselves out of being just consumers.
Sure.
And start being producers. Because
Absolutely.
in order to advance your communities and build your communities, you have to produce something. But the problem with making it to the level of production is that you have to have enough support from the black community to these businesses so these businesses can grow.
Right.
So when it comes to the support, why do you think that we are lacking in it? Is it just a lack of education? Is it that we just experiencing some flat out ignorance where we just don't want to support black businesses? Because I know we deal with the crab pot effect, and there are rumors that black people are afraid to let other black people get ahead of them. Now, I call it rumors because I don't want to feed into it.
Right. Well, unfortunately, it's one of those things where, we hope it's not true, but I think it's a little truth in most things.
There's definitely some truth in it.
Right. And the thing is, obviously, we need to spend our money with us. But why aren't we doing it? So, it's a couple of reasons that I think we're not doing it. One, just what you said. Unfortunately, some of us are afraid to help someone else get ahead.
Right.
Why that is, we can talk about that in a whole nother day.
Yes,
all
we
day.
can.
It could be jealousy. It could be they're living out your goals that you can't move forward and do. And it could also be lack of awareness, lack of education.
Right.
Does my dollar matter to that black brother, that black sister? Of course it does, but maybe don't realize how important that dollar is.
Right.
I remember a lady, I was speaking to a businesswoman, and she was talking about that she does clothing, handbags, and so forth, and she was getting some feedback from our people that her products were too expensive. Now, this is a black woman, has her own business, creates her own products, draws them up, sews them up,
Right.
everything. But the people who are complaining, they're walking around with designer handbags and designer clothes, brand name.
Absolutely.
But they think our product is too expensive, but they have, whatever, insert the name here on their purse, which is several $1,000s.
Right.
So
right.
sometimes it's a mindset that, that's a brand name that someone else is going to see me with, so I can spend money on that.
Right.
But Brother Mike has a product, and it may be a great product, but no one knows that. So
Right.
do I want to spend $2,000 on that product, and no one knows what I have? Sometimes it's a status thing.
Yeah, so we take a lot of pride in being a walking billboard for brands for other races,
Millionaires.
right? Brands of people who don't even like you. For all the black people that's out here listening, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but a lot of these big name brand companies, they don't really like you. So we're walking around showcasing off
Other millionaires.
their brand, helping them get rich, and a lot of times they don't even care for who you are as a person.
A very famous designer even went so far as to say once that he didn't make the products for our people.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
gonna say his
couple of them
name,
stepped
but it
forward
was.
and said that.
I mean,
Right.
like, what's wrong with us?
Right. So at that point, none of us should have even purchased anything from there anymore.
Right.
Now I know that's easier said than done.
Right.
But that's the reality. That's the path we need to get on. If you're not going to have an appreciation for who we are, advertising for your product, then we're not going to wear it at all. But again, this goes back into Black by Demand and what we're trying to do, because Black by Demand is also a brand. So, in the long run, we want to be able to develop more clothing other than just a T-shirt, where you can wear a piece of clothing and feel proud that this was, black-owned, African-American brand, company, label that you are now out representing, instead of walking around and, thinking, oh, well, this is Gucci. You don't even know Gucci. Gucci don't like you.
Gucci don't speak out.
Right, yeah. Gucci don't want nothing to do with you. So, I think we definitely have to do more. Now, just to give everybody a little background on us three, I'll tell you why I have these two guys here. All three of us are barbers, so we are brethren. So I thought I'd start the first show off, with my brethren, and we can have a little shop talk, no different than what we would do inside the barbershop. So I'm a master barber by trade. Mr. Walker's a master barber by trade, and then Jay Capone here is a licensed barber by trade, on his way to be a master barber. So all three of us have worked in a shop together before, and we developed a camaraderie where we can sit and chop it up a little bit and have these type of discussions. So, Jay, with the shop that you in, right? I know you get a fair amount of traffic for both, black people and white people, right? But as a person that's self-employed, what do you think that you could do to draw more black people into having an understanding that we need to practice supporting each other's businesses?
Me personally, when I have a certain client or somebody I know I have a rapport with, we have conversations like this.
Right.
So I put them in my shoes or where I stand for as buying supplies or getting new clients to the people I try to get to become my client. Just for instance, y'all know him. Our supply guy is Kareem. Now, I've been doing business with him since I've been cutting. And I know for a fact I don't spend thousands of dollars with this man. But I would feel better if it was a black man, because just I want to say last week I had a black vendor come out, and that man taught me all my draws. He got me to spend $100 on 2-3 products, which is not a problem. But my Korean, I don't uptalk his stuff. He don't try to give me something new or good for our skin and stuff like that. So
the upsell, exactly.
Right. So I try to look out for everybody, but the best I can do is experience life, talk to my fellow barbers, and try to get the best for me and my people.
Right. You know, that understanding, like Walker was saying, I think it's going to boil down to education. So hopefully this is what we're going to achieve with Black by Demand Radio. We're going to talk about some issues that we feel are relevant, you know, and some of these issues are going to make some people uncomfortable, and others, you know, it's going to make them quite comfortable. But, you know, coming out of your comfort zone to engage in certain conversations is how you grow, you know, so that's what we're going to continue to do. We're going to go ahead and wrap this up and go to commercial break, and we'll be right back. Black by Demand Radio, only here at BeExposedRadio.com. Tune in with us. We're going to get this conversation going and get into it. We'll be right back.
I know the weight is killing you. Suspense is building. All this stuff in the news keeps happening, and I'm not even here to talk about it. But look, on May 17th at 7 p.m., Talk Lately with me, Marnie, is back. We can get into the gossip, all the entertainment news, the politics, everything. It's open to interpretation, but I'm going to put a spin on it with my flair of funny. And it all goes down right here on BeExposedRadio.com, and we on YouTube. So get ready. You should already be ready.
Check out this flashback from the Artist Exchange radio show.
That's the biggest thing, is just empowerment. Just get off of the begging line. Just be proud and just get our pride and our dignity back, because as a child, we're taught how to go and beg for a job. Our parents, they literally taught us how to make sure you pull your pants up. Me, I'm 6'7", so I'm a bigger man. I was always taught how to not be threatening or intimidate people when I go into different interviews or in different scenarios. And so we're literally taught how to condition ourselves, condition our speech, everything, in order to go and beg these people for a job, because we know when we walk in the door, I have to tear down 10 stereotypes before I get past hello. So we need to eliminate that. You know, and we need to eliminate that, and the way that we do that is employing ourselves and employing our brothers and sisters. And so that's our mission, is group economics, uplift ourselves, because I can't empower anyone until I empower myself, and change from just being willing, because it's in my heart and my passion to see my people succeed and see us do better and change the social order, because I know that we are not supposed to be on bottom. I understand who I was. I know I didn't fall out of the sky and land on a plantation. So when you have knowledge of self and you know who you are and what you come from, it's frustrating more than anything to see us in this position.
Tune into the Artist Exchange every Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Every Saturday, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. live on BeExposedRadio.com.
There's a rumor going around that Tyler Perry and Oprah are beefing. Well, let me tell you about this. Tyler, okay, told Oprah, bitch, if you don't have my money, we're going to have a problem. Ooh. Oprah said, what is the problem? Ooh. You said if I don't have your money, there was going to be a problem. So Oprah is standing her ground like, bitch, I'm in charge. Yeah, you know, you may have a $250 million studio over there that you film all your shows and movies and stuff on, but I have the empire. That's what Oprah said.
Oh, these are her exact words. Allegedly.
I made this up.
Allegedly.
I made it all up. But there was a rumor that they were beefing. But Tyler confirms that they don't have any issues. So it says it was recently reported on the rumors that was swirling that the twosome were on the outs over constructive criticism over Perry's show. Well, I got some constructive criticism, and we can be on the outs, Tyler, and I don't give a damn, because I'm going to make a promo out of this anyway and share it to your page. I need the scenes on Have and Have Nots to be like 5% shorter, each one. I want you to watch an episode of The Young and the Restless, because this is supposed to be a soap opera. No one's dialogue on The Young and the Restless is like this. You don't have to talk about the random plant in the corner for 25 minutes on one damn scene.
They talk about random plants.
It was a blood stain on the floor for 5 episodes. I can't take it. We need to kick this up. I'm sorry. I love the Have and the Have Nots, and I continue to watch it in its 5th season, but I get so mad when I can go get myself a glass of water and come back and he had just started the next sentence in his first paragraph. I can't stand it.
They just want to get the point across.
It's not a...
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Black by the Man radio show. I'm your host, Brother Mike. So before we went to break, we was discussing supporting black businesses and why we need to do more of supporting black businesses. So I want to chime in on that a little bit more. It's highly important that we support black businesses because we are not in the game that we think we are in. Supporting your own people, your own team is highly important, and this is how you doing, Nate? This is how all the other races, all the other groups, this is how they move ahead, because they support by spending money with their race. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, one of the things that I come across when I try to convince black people that we need to spend more money with black people, we need to have more things that deal with discussing issues that we have, specifically for us. You know, like, we've been put in a position where we're so afraid to do something that deals with just black people. Like, black people are scared of that. You know, they're scared to just be pro-black because they want to equivocate pro-black to being anti-white. You know, and I had a brother the other day, he asked me about that, and he said, why do you think people like to associate pro-black with being anti-white? And I told him what that comes from is because pro-white equals anti-black. Okay, you see where I'm coming from? So pro-white equals anti-black in a lot of cases. Not every case, but in a lot of cases. So then when you have a black person who's pro-black, people tend to think that means
automatic.
Anti-white. Right, but if you really understood the game, it's not about being anti-white. It's just about being concerned about your team.
That's it.
You know, now this is how all other races get ahead. They're not afraid to be concerned about their team.
Except for us.
Except for us, right? So when you look at Caucasians, Asians, Middle Eastern Indians, Spanish folks, you know, their dollar, the Jews, it bounces between 7 and 18 times within their community before another race touches it. Now when you look at the black dollar, which happens to be the most powerful dollar as far as consumption, because we spend more than everybody else, but yet our dollar doesn't bounce not one time within our community.
Brother Mike,
so we're making everybody else rich.
Exactly. Quick point on that.
Go ahead,
exactly
brother.
what you're saying. 2 cents of every dollar, 2 cents of every dollar that we as a people spend, we spend on black.
Yes.
2 cents of every dollar.
Right. 2
Everybody
cents.
else, much more.
Much more.
60%, 70 cents,
Right.
85, cents.
Right. So I guess that's where they probably get the old, you ain't worth 2 cents.
That's what it is.
Good point. Good point.
You ain't worth 2 cents.
Good point.
So yeah, in order for us to really begin to build, we got to understand the game that's being played. So in this game, you are assigned a team. And I want black people to understand that and embrace that. You are assigned a team. You don't have to be feeling ashamed because you want to represent for your team. Right. Like we're all on teams one way or another. Like I'm black. I'm on team B.
Right.
Okay, I'm on team B because I'm black, right? Mm-hmm. But then I'm also a barber. So I'm also on the barber team. Mm-hmm. If you an ant, you on the ant team. If you a gorilla, you on the gorilla team. You see where I'm coming from? And we the only people that are scared to embrace that and recognize I believe in being fair, but I also believe in my team coming first. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So our team has to come first. And blackbytheman.com, Black by the Man Radio Show. This is what we're trying to push forward to get black people a little bit more comfortable with recognizing there's nothing wrong with being proud of your blackness. We live in a society that has tried to convince us to hate ourselves.
Right.
You understand what I mean? They've been so successful at it that when you have black people who don't demonstrate the hatred for themselves, it shocks black people. It shocks white people.
It makes them uncomfortable.
Yeah, and it makes black people uncomfortable. And I'm seriously disturbed about that because you should be very comfortable with discussing anything that's about progressing your people forward. Your team is, it has nothing to do with disliking or hating any other team, but we got to play for Team Black. And one of the ways that we can get in the game is start supporting black businesses more and stop being so judgmental when it comes to the black businesses. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of things a lot of black businesses need to do better, and we're going to speak on that as well. Mm-hmm. But the support has to be shown in order for us to move forward and in order for us to stop having neighborhoods where the whole neighborhood is surrounded by stores from other races.
Right.
Now, the average black person comes from some particular background.
Mm-hmm.
So when you look at low-income housing areas where black people live at, if you peep what's going on around it, okay, all the stores are owned by other races. Mm-hmm. So, you got the Indian man, he's got the gas station and the liquor store. Mm-hmm. The Asians got the beauty supply.
The
cleaners, the nail spot, the little chicken box spot, right? The Caucasians got the check cashing. They got the
everything else.
Pizza shop, the sub, so forth and so on, right? Yeah. So they put these around our communities all year long and take money out of our communities. And then most of the time they don't even like us. So they don't even treat us fair, right?
Watch you.
But they see us as a cash cow. They refer to us as liquid assets. So they take money all year long from our communities, and then they go spend it in their community. Mm-hmm. So that little Asian kid got to go to that expensive school because of the poor black people, where his peoples have their store at, who they also are not even treating appropriately.
And you notice, Mike, when you go to their neighborhoods, they don't have the liquor stores on every corner.
Nope. Right. No, sir.
Not in their neighborhood.
Yeah. No, they're not putting no liquor store on every corner because they're not about poisoning their people. Mm-hmm. They want to keep that poison coming towards us. So education, I think, is the name of the game. And when I say education, I'm not referring to just education from some school. I'm talking about the education that we have to put out for black people, designed by black people, and educate. But look, we got to take another break. So we're going to go to another commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to get further and dig into this. We got a couple more questions we want to put on the floor. And let's talk about this. Black by the Man Radio, only at BeExposedRadio.com. So we'll be back.
Waitley is back on May 17th at 7 p.m. only on BeExposedRadio.com. Oh, okay, yeah. Also on YouTube. I know the rate is killing. Why would you see me recording? Oh my. You a hard-headed hoe. Yo.
Man, it is what it is. Man, it is what it is. Well, it is what it is.
This fly T Miles, also known as Tyree Miles, and Mr. Miles the Writer.
Hip Hop K, check us out every Friday on Be Exposed Radio at 9/11.
Coming to y'all soon.
Hey everybody, check out what you missed on the one and only Be Inspired Radio Show.
I'm just thankful this year I've dealt with, some growing pains, and I've overcome some things, and I've also, accomplished some things in the process. I've learned some things. Like, I've learned I learned that everybody loves your work until they got to pay for it. That's what I learned. I learned everybody loves
Is it really
what you
about
do.
the pay?
I mean,
not always.
Listen,
but
the Bible says money answereth all things.
Well,
okay, and there is a place. There is a place where finances is necessary. And when you got kids and when you got a wife and then you doing everything and you know you top dog at what you do, especially when you weren't in the same place you like with this radio show. You ain't in the same place you were a year ago. Should nobody be coming on the show and not donating to your show?
Can you say that on my show?
Should nobody be coming to your show?
Can you say that in the middle of the live?
Yeah. Make that a promo, please.
Should nobody come on this show without donating?
Yes.
I don't care if it's $20.
Donate.
Tune in to Be Inspired every Wednesday live at 7 p.m. right here on Be Exposed Radio.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back, everybody. Black by the Man Radio Show. I'm your host, Brother Mike. So we was touching on supporting black businesses before we left. So we're going to go ahead and move forward with the next question on the floor. So the next question I got is, what can black businesses do to get more support from the black community? Are there areas that we have opportunity for improvement to draw in more black people to wanting them to support these black businesses on a level that they support, you know, all the other businesses, the white businesses, the Asian businesses, the Middle Eastern businesses. So what can the black business do to draw in more black people? Jay, what's your thoughts on that?
First, we got to utilize our social media and our platform of advertising.
That's a good
I
point.
feel like as black people, we don't advertise at all.
Very good point. We don't.
So you can put it on Black by the Man.
There you go.
Start off there, but we got to do more about getting our name out there instead of just word of mouth or something like that, because bad news travel faster than good news.
Yes, it does, especially when it's black people speaking on black people. We
Right.
we love sending bad news down the grapevine.
Listen,
with
you need to say that
hyper
about
speed.
5 more times. Say that, say that loud. Perfect example.
So we
on
trying
that.
to bring something different here at Black by the Man Radio Show.
Perfect example on that, brother. You go there to whatever business you have. You visit that business 100 times.
Right.
Love the service. Have something small or something big. One thing go wrong. I ain't never going back to that black business, get thrown
Right.
under the bus.
Yeah.
I can't stand you went 100 times.
Right.
But if it's another business from another race, they mess up your food or whatever, I can't stand them,
your
whatever,
food.
you be back there tomorrow buying the
Be back
same
there
order.
tomorrow. I actually
it's
spoke
okay.
on that on one of my videos on YouTube. How, you know, like our tolerance for mistakes with black businesses is just very low. You know what I mean? The first time they make a mistake,
That's it.
we just done with them.
Goodbye.
It's crazy.
And then we also like to complain about pricing, you know, which, you know, I get
We
when
spoke
people
on that.
notice a difference in pricing. But let me just touch on that a little bit. First of all, the pricing isn't that big of a difference, right? You ain't looking at nowhere but between maybe 10 cents and $1 difference, right?
Perception.
I feel that being able to support my people's business is worth me spending an extra $1.
Right.
But just to give insight, you know, with these black businesses, a lot of time black businesses don't have access to the wholesale products that larger businesses do.
Correct.
You know, so when you look at the Asians with the beauty supply, right, they'll take 7, 8, 9, 10 of their stores, combine their money together, and then they got connections in China. No pun intended.
That's funny.
You know? So, you know, they get to purchase these products in bulk. So then they'll have that shipped to a particular warehouse, and then they all show up and divvy up, you know what I mean, the products and take them to their individual stores. Well, a lot of black businesses don't have access to other businesses that are willing to get together and get the wholesale prices. And then when you get deeper into the game of business, you'll find out that a lot of black businesses kind of get shut out from getting the wholesale prices.
They get locked
So,
up.
right, you know, so a lot of things have to be purchased at a retail price. So if they have to purchase it at a retail price, then they're going to have to sell it a little bit higher than you might be able to get it from another store. And that's why I say I understand that people, you know, are not going to be able to just cold turkey jump up and give all of their purchases to a black business. But you need to incorporate it into your spending somewhere. So that way you can feel that you are contributing to your people doing better. You can't sit back and complain about the things that are happening with our people and you do nothing to support it. So Walker, let me ask you, what do you think the businesses can do to make black people understand? We want you to support us more. We want you to, solicit us, and bring us some business.
Well, the thing is, we can start by just showing a little appreciation.
Right.
It starts with the small things. A simple, I appreciate you. Thank you.
Right.
Some people have this thing where they can't reach out to people and say, hey, thanks for coming. I appreciate you. Extend a hand. You got to start with that. I know when I go to a business and someone reaches out to me, smiles at me, shakes my hand, tells me, thank me for coming, I appreciate it. Makes me feel good. Even though it's 50 people behind me that they're going to do the same thing to, makes me feel good. Right. So we got to start small and actually, let them know that we appreciate their business. That's
so we need better customer service.
Better customer service all around, from the time you see the person to the time they leave.
Right. So I'm looking at it like not only do we need better customer service from the business, right? But we also need better customers from the actual consumer. True. Because the consumers, like we said, they do go into a black business with certain lowered expectations. So stop doing that and then recognize your people are trying to come up.
Right.
So support that to help them come up, and then maybe years down the road they can have that larger business, with everything intact that you used to when you deal with, businesses from other races.
Absolutely.
But the reality is we trying to get started back in the game. We're trying to bring forth an education that's going to help people understand the importance of supporting black businesses. So for all those who are listening, please do better at supporting black businesses. Go on blackbydemand.com. Check out the businesses we have on there. The website's kind of just getting started. We don't have as many as we would like at this point, but we got a goal of trying to reach 1,000 ads by the end of this year. If you don't want to place an ad for your business because you're not a business owner, it's also like a black Craigslist. So if you got items you just want to sell or you want to look for some items to buy, we want it to be the one-stop shop for black business. So that's a way you can support. And then, of course, we also have a donation button. The ads to place on blackbydemand.com are only $19.99. Okay, so for $19.99, $20, you get 30 days of an ad that you can upload 2 images, a link, and then also a YouTube video. And just for people listening, let me put the number out there so you guys can call in if you want to chat with us. You can call in at 410-702-5657. That's 410-702-5657. Feel free to give us a call if you want to add to this conversation. You can also type in questions and text statements you want to make. But we have to. We got to do better with supporting it. I think as long as we continue to have shows like this, and we can put out a particular type of education, things that ain't getting discussed on a normal, I think we have a percentage of us that wants to do better and understands the big picture. Because if we don't come together with doing better with supporting each other, we're just going to fall further and further down the social status ladder here in this society.
It's been going on too long. This has been going on since we got here.
Right.
It's time for us to really go back to our roots and depend on each other.
That's right. That's right. We got to go back to old school. There's actually a scripture in the Bible that says, go back to the ancient paths. Okay, so, you can take that spiritually or you can take it carnally, like we talking. Go back to the way things used to be. This whole thing of integration has actually weakened us. And people don't quite understand that. The integration weakened us. We are the only people that wanted to be integrated with white people. Asians don't come here and say we want to be integrated with white people. The native Indians are not here to say we want to be integrated with white people. Now, I'm not calling for a flat out division, but I'm just saying, you got to be equal but separate. You got to do your own thing. We're not going to vote somebody into place that's going to make things better for the black community. That's up to us to do that. And when you look at the overall big picture, it's kind of foolish to think that any other race would want to help you do better in those areas when it's been proven that they've actually done things to hinder you from doing better in those areas.
Just about everybody.
Well, so it's up to us. So I'm trying to tap into our power. I want black people to feel proud to be black without, thinking that it's going to offend a white person because you're proud to be black. White people are proud to be white. White people are proud to be white. White people are proud to be white. You know what I'm saying? I'm proud to be black. Why does that make me a bad guy? Because I'm proud to be black. Not only am I proud to be black, man, I'm black by demand. But that's a whole nother story altogether. So yeah, we got to do better with supporting these black businesses. Now, the next question I want to bring up is, should we be teaching our children to buy black?
Hell yeah.
Because they're not being taught that in any level as far as their education.
No, they're not.
Elementary, grammar school, or even high school. When does it begin that we start teaching our children to buy black? And should we be doing that?
Well, I mean, it goes without saying, of course, we should be teaching our kids that.
Right.
We should start at a young age, but it's not as easy as it sounds, because to teach somebody that, you have to be able to show them where the black businesses are.
Bingo. Blackbodyman.com.
Right.
Keep it going, brother.
So when you're traveling and you're going to this place or that place, that mall, that shopping center, it's hard to say buy black if they don't see blacks in those positions.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Now, they could be behind the scenes owners, but you have to be able to educate them. This is a store owned by our people. Sometimes you can tell by the name, sometimes you can't. Sometimes it's misleading.
Right.
But the point is, you have to actually say, via directory, via online, via, me and Mike, we shared the book with each other about the black business owners.
Yes.
And I actually should have
brought
brought
me use that book too.
Yes, sir. And, we just have to be able to point out where can we find our people at and the importance of it.
Right.
It makes a difference. And, it doesn't help that, so many things are against us. When we look on TV, how many times do we actually see our businesses? Yeah, we might see people in a commercial for someone else's business.
Right.
And what are we doing most of the time? Dancing and singing.
Right. Right.
Right? But it's usually not for our commercial.
Shucking and jiving.
Exactly. So next time you see a TV, or next time you're watching TV, look at the commercial and you see what I'm talking about. How many times is that commercial for us? It's very little.
Yeah, it's very little.
So we have to do more behind the scenes to get our commercials out there, and we have to do more to recognize and actually acknowledge the commercials that are for our people.
Right.
And they don't always have to be, some dancing commercial or whatever, some dancing business. That's fine. We're very, rhythmic, and we're very,
no doubt,
educational as far as our, ability to move and all that kind of stuff. But we're more than that.
Right.
And so don't fall into the trap that that's all we are.
Right. Yeah, I definitely agree with you, brother. Jay, what do you think, man? You think we can pull this off and have people get an understanding that they need to support black businesses more and recognize that we've been bumped down in the social status? We used to be number 2. Black people were number 2.
Right.
We are no longer number 2. The Spanish have bumped us down to number 3. The Asians are about to bump us to number 4. So I'm saying nobody's paying attention to that, right? So what Walker was saying, we need our own media outlets. This is why we got the Black by the Man radio show, because we need to talk about things that black people are not going to hear coming from anybody else other than another black person, because we the only people that are concerned about our present conditions.
And I have our perspective.
Yes, our perspective. That's what we are here to offer, our perspective. And even if you agree or disagree, the whole point is just for the perspective to get you thinking different towards the way you operate as a black person. We're too individualized. We got to get away from just being individuals. A lot of black people, at least the background I come from, you know what I mean, their main goal is to make sure that they okay. They really don't have a concern for anything else, and it's a rhyme and a reason why we get down that way. But I'm saying we have to start removing that. And we got to show our children physically how we buy black, right? When we do, and then explain to them why we do it, the importance of buying black. Because if we begin to do that, then they're going to grow up and teach that to their children. So 2-3 generations later, you got black people who take a little bit more pride and understand that we on the same team. You understand what I mean? While everybody else is playing on the same team, it's time for us to recognize that we on the same team.
Absolutely.
So we got to teach it to the children. Now, Jay, you got 2 young boys,
right?
You know what I mean. So how you feel about letting them see you buy black? You know what I mean.
And that's the thing, because the beauty of it, my kids are with me. Kind of say 9 times out of 10, they were with me in the shop sometimes. So they see me receive money, and they also see me spend money.
Right.
So I want to say it was last weekend. My oldest son said, "Daddy, can I straighten your money out?" I said, "All right, go ahead." Because sometimes when I get my money, I just shove it.
Right.
So he straightened my money out. He counted it out. We do the counting because he going to 4th grade.
Nice.
So
Little
he sees me, so he sees me earn money. So Daddy said, "Oh, you got all this money." He said, "Yeah, but you got to spend your money wisely." I said, "I just can't go spend the money however I would like to."
Right.
But I said, "I got to take care of you. I got to take care of the household. I got to take care of your mom, everybody." So whenever I get a chance to spend it in the black business, hopefully I can. I let them go in there. I give them a little couple dollars. Because we like to go to Patasco. They love Patasco.
Okay.
Because people throwing away toys, they go in there.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, we're just going to patronize this person today.
Right.
Or even if I don't like their cologne, I'll go buy some cologne or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the only place I know, as far as in the city, being that I'm not here in Maryland, I like to go because there's thousands of black folks in there.
Right.
So they can see us around us, operating around us. So I want my kids to grow up in a different mindset than I grew up, because I didn't see this way until after I got out of the household.
Right.
And I see how people operate, because they don't want you to win.
No.
They're not trying to help you to win.
No.
They're not going to give you the tools to win.
No, absolutely not.
So I got to bring my kids up a different route. So when they in high school, they ain't going to get bamboozled of, oh, you got to think this way now. We're not gonna do that.
Right, yeah. And I think letting them see you spend with black businesses is very important, because children tend to do more of what they see us do versus what we tell them to do. Yeah. You know what I mean? So we're gonna interject right here, and we gotta go to another commercial break. So stay tuned. Black by the Man Radio, first show, first guest co-host, first guest, Brother Mike, BeExposedRadio.com. It's on, people. Be back after the break.
Whoa. The moment my son saw a redwood tree.
It's huge!
Is the moment I knew that for him,
You can't even see the top of that thing!
even the sky has no limit.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go. Your moment is out there. Find it at discovertheforest.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Lately it's back on May 17th at 7 p.m. only on BeExposedRadio.com. Oh, okay, yeah. Also on YouTube. I know the rate is killing me. You see me recording? Oh my God. You a hard-headed asshole.
Yeah, this the man that holds it down. Mr. Showtime, D the Boss. Check us out every Saturday, 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, only on BeExposedRadio.com.
I'm in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
My girl happens to be long distance.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said,
I beat my thing like it owes me money.
Sorry.
Because I asked that because so many people are not comfortable.
Here's my thing. It's mine.
That's right.
And you need to know yourself before you can have somebody please. If you can't tell nobody how to please you, if you don't know how to please yourself.
That's right.
You know what you like. You know what you like. You know the stroke, all that. So you're right. And I mean, you shouldn't be ashamed of it. It's your body. Yeah, I'm over here struggling with the ear.
Yeah, I'm glad it's you today. I'm glad it's you today, brother.
Oh, this thing going to drop. It's going to drop about at least like 5 times.
I'm over there struggling.
So ED, do you have a problem with masturbating?
No, I don't. I don't masturbate often because I have a fear of going blind. So, yes. When
going
I found, yes.
You could go blind from
yes.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
All right, what's up, family? Brother Mike, Black by the Man Radio Show. We are back. We was just touching on teaching our children about buying black. Before I can get back into that, though, let me give another plug for my brethren here. So again, we're here with guest co-host Mr. Walker Stanton, a.k.a. Mr. Walker of the Fade and Theory Barbershop. Walker, what's your address for the shop?
4534 and a half Harford Road. Right off Harford Road in Laurelville.
Very nice. Walker's a great barber, by the way, y'all. He's a wonderful barber. I'm not a hater. I love my brethren.
I appreciate you.
I'm not a hater. We all do our thing. So we also got Jay Capone, the barber here. Now Jay's down in Aberdeen. Jay, you at 1205 South Philadelphia Boulevard.
Correct.
Jay do his own thing. He's cutting inside familiar faces, but the Jay cuts are the top of the line cuts.
There you go.
There you go. Top of the line cuts. You can find both of these brothers on blackbytheman.com if you want to know more about them, and if you want to get a chance to link up with them and get you a fresh cut. All right, so we're going to get back to the show. Again, we were speaking about teaching children to buy black. I think it's highly important. Malcolm X was quoted for saying that the worst thing you can do is allow your enemy to educate your children. And I agree with that wholeheartedly. You know, now I have an ideal of who I view as my enemy, but I'm not going to speak specifically. So let's just say whoever you think is your enemy, don't allow them to be educating your children. Now, of course, as you know, members of this American society, you know, your options as far as school as a black person are not as, you know, wide as some options, you know. So, you know, a lot of us deal with public school, you know, which is fine. But I think the education is going to come in what we're doing with our children at home, you know, because what they're going to get at school, you know, was not designed for them. The curriculum did not have them in mind when that curriculum was created. So even though your kids have to go there, you still want to be providing your kids with some type of education at home. Have them reading books that you select, having conversations about them, why it's important to buy black, why it's important to support your people, and making them understand you don't have to feel uncomfortable about this. And I want black people to hear me when I say that. Don't be uncomfortable with your blackness, you know, like I'm not going to take it down the rabbit hole of spirituality, but just trust me when I tell you, the first gift that the Most High gave to Adam, the man we call God, right? Mm-hmm. First gift God gave to Adam was his blackness. So just keep that in mind. You know, be proud to be black. The first gift he gave him was blackness. Mm-hmm. So we got to get out of being afraid to represent for our blackness, you know, and teach our children to be proud about their blackness. And I think supporting black businesses is one of the ways that we can do it, because as they begin to see that, it's going to change the tide. You know what I mean? Like a lot of folks, you know, my age, Jay, you're a little younger than me and Walker, but some of us at these ages are just not really trying to hear it. You know, we set in our ways. We don't want to change. Right. That Stockholm syndrome is set in. The mental conditioning is bad.
They don't think it matters.
So the true change is definitely going to come from the younger generation, and it's up to us as elders, you know, to teach them that and make them understand.
Put that on our elders too.
Right. You know, it's like as the torch gets passed on from parents to children, parents to children, parents to children, we're supposed to try to evolve and do better. And if we're not teaching them nothing different from what our parents taught us, then, you know, we're really not evolving.
We're not doing our family bloodline no justice.
Right.
How can you be stuck in the same situation 100 years later?
Right.
Of
and that's pretty much where we are as a people. So going back to supporting black businesses, we've been sold the illusion of inclusion. We have not moved forward like we think we have. If you check the statistics, you'll see that in 1860, the eve before the Civil War, with less than 400,000 free black slaves, we managed to accumulate 0.5% of the nation's wealth. Okay, that's in 1860 with less than 400,000 free slaves. 0.5%. It's not a lot. But then when you fast forward, 2017, 140 something years later, now we got 44 million free black people. And we still only own 0.5% of the nation's wealth. So you see, we have not moved forward like we think. Right. You've been sold the illusion of inclusion to make you feel, oh, you guys are doing better. You know what I mean? You guys make money. You got the celebrities, the athletes. You know, you're going to college, so forth and so on, but we're still not producers.
Right.
We are just consumers.
Right.
And there is no power in consumption.
Nope.
So when you number one consumer, it means nothing. It just means you spend the most money out of everybody. It's almost like getting a diamond card from the Horseshoe Casino. And you walking around like you that dude, but in all reality, you just lost more money than everybody else in the casino. You know, so
shut you up.
Yeah. It's pretty much a setup, man. It's pretty much a setup. So let's get back to education. I want to talk about group economics and kind of explain, you know, how group economics falls into this support of business. For those who ain't aware of group economics, without pulling up Google Economics, group economics deals with supporting your own businesses, your own people, you know what I mean? Participating and buying black, you know what I mean? And maybe even banking black, right? So do you guys think that group economics is a major key towards getting us to get on a better path as a community of people?
It is a major key. It absolutely is. I mean, the biggest thing we have is trying to get people to buy into what we're selling, basically.
Yes.
not only from a retail point of view or from a product point of view, is the mindset. And if you can get just a small percentage of our people to start believing in the group economics,
right,
then that will trickle on. Right. Then it will snowball and grow from there. Right. But I mean, somebody got to go first.
Yes.
Okay. So somebody got to be willing to take the shots, take the hits. But if we can get everybody on that page, the outcome is definitely a win-win situation.
Yes. And of course, you know, realistically, we know that amongst us, we're probably always going to be dealing with a minority of black people who even care about these type of situations. But, you know, what I hope is that amongst that minority, as we begin to grow in knowledge, I want that to become contagious, where other people look and say, you know, look, man, you know, them cats that's on Black by Demand, they building, you know, like they building. Maybe I should, you know, become a part of this, you know, and that's the whole purpose behind Black by Demand, is to get people practicing group economics. It is of dire importance. If this does not change, we are going to find ourselves in worse and worse situations.
Tail of the dog forever.
Yes. Group economics can change more than what people are even aware of that it can change. You know, we talking about getting money to build our own communities.
And that's the thing, because we had the blueprint before at Black Wall Street.
Yes.
We had our own hospitals, our own grocery stores, our own theaters, our own schools. We had it all.
Yes.
Something happened.
Yeah.
Took that away.
Yeah. Those people got upset.
There's a lot of
oppressor.
Too much power.
Yeah, got upset.
That was crazy.
Right. For all those who are not familiar, he's speaking about Black Wall Street, Tulsa, Oklahoma, 1921, somewhere in that range.
Yeah. So that just goes to show you that people know that you're powerful.
Yes.
And you don't have to fight nobody. You don't got to shoot nobody.
You got to do none of that.
Play with that money if you want to.
That's it. The numbers is what counts. You know what I mean? And we definitely are a powerful race of people. And I'm doing my best to help people realize that. You know what I mean? And get into marketing towards your own people. Towards your own people. You get what I'm saying? And stop allowing us to be the target for other races to market their businesses. Because we are the target, in case people don't know. You are the number one target. When you see a commercial, it was designed to bring you in. That's why you can't watch a commercial today without it having a hip-hop track behind it. You understand what I mean?
Catch your ear.
Yeah, we're going to go to commercial break, and when we get back, I want to dive into the economic side of group economics and how it's going to benefit us. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Black by Demand Radio, only at BeExposedRadio.com. Brother Mike.
Hey everybody, this is your girl, the one and only Vic Cows. Check us out every Saturday from 5 to 7, only on BeExposedRadio.com.
Oh, recently? Yeah. I was talking about overall. No, two.
Two? That was Uber.
That wasn't Uber.
Yeah. That wasn't. Yeah, that was Uber.
That situation with Uber, I think they told us about.
But this guy, you know, my whole thing is pay attention. You know, I don't know if this dude was trying to get home or something, but he was speeding. Now I'm with the flow, like, you know, do your thing. But when you taking me out of my way and you speeding, little suspect, trying to get my butt.
Like the Clemson guy from the Ohio State game.
What? Yes. Yeah. Now, he picked me up from my job, right? And I'm telling him where to go. He refused not to go. And you're speeding. So I'm thinking, this is me. I'm in the back seat. He's speeding. I'm like, he trying to take me in an alley somewhere, you know. And so I'm a little uncomfortable. So I'm noticing. I'm looking at the GPS. It's telling him to go this way. He's going this way. And I'm like, wait a minute. You taking me out of my way. I know I curse like a sailor, but
I do too.
There's sometimes you just don't curse. And this one time was that. Hey, look, y'all. I'm only going by what the GPS, yo. No real shit.
Oh. What?
Fuck it. I quit. Like, real shit? Really?
Wow.
Say, you cussing?
Wow.
Trying to get my butt?
Yeah, this the man that holds it down, Mr. Showtime, D the Boss. Check us out every Saturday, 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, only on BeExposedRadio.com.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Let's get into this, Mike.
What's up, family? Welcome back to the Black Body Man Radio Show. I'm your host, Brother Mike, with co-host Mr. Walker and guest Jay Capone the Barber. Before we went to commercial break, we was discussing group economics and the importance of group economics. So I want to touch on something about group economics that I think our people are not aware of, okay? Just to show you the power of economics, right? Now, when you look at racism and police brutality, okay, we all know the basics as to why it's happening, you know, driving while black, you know, just being a black person, so forth and so on. But what I think a lot of us don't understand is one of the reasons that we do not get the results when one of these situations happen, it's not just because of the racism. You know, as far as, you know, people not liking that you're black, so forth and so on. It's an economic issue. You see, you can't get justice when your child is killed in the streets by the police because as a people, you don't have economic power. So when they do something to black people, right, along the lines of racism, they know all that you're going to do is get mad. You're going to get mad, you're going to protest, you're going to march, you might burn some things up, you might make some T-shirts. But other than that, it's not a lot that's going to happen from it. And that's because you don't have economical power. Now, when you look at other races, take the Asians, for instance, right? See, if they do that to an Asian person, and then the police kills that person in the streets on video in front of everybody, the Asian community has economic power. So they can say to the dominant society, listen, if you don't get justice for what you did to our brother, good luck getting something imported from China. Good luck having another tag that says made in China, made in Hong Kong. See, they have economical power. They can change the numbers on the scoreboard. And that's what gets respected in our society. You see, so as long as black people, we are not exercising any economical power, you're not going to receive any justice. You understand what I mean? Because there's nothing you can do if you don't. You can't say, well, we're going to shut down certain supermarkets. You know, you can't say, well, we're going to pull the utility water company off in the other state and cut the water off. You have no economical power. And that's what Black by Demand is trying to educate people on. We have to start developing economical power in order to move forward in this society. You will not move forward without economical power. And that comes through group economics. Because at the end of the day, that's what racism is all about. And again, because our education is not coming from those who look like us, we don't have the full understanding. You know, if you talk about racism, black people just think it means bad words and, you know, didn't get the job. You understand what I mean? And the police harassing me. Get to the back but really, racism deals with economics. It's an economic issue.
That's the blood. That's the blood that pumps the body.
Right. It's an economic issue. You know what I mean? So in order for you to not receive racism, you have to develop economical power. And with us being the number one consumer, we have such an opportunity to have economical power because it's there. It's just there under consumption instead of production. We got to move a percentage of that over to the economical power being production. So when you produce something and then you can threaten to remove that, now people are going to listen to you.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So if you got the power to say, well, if this doesn't happen, you know, we're going to stop sending donations to Hero, or I'm going to stop my people from coming into your store and buying products. See, that's economical power. That's how you move the people who sit in the positions to actually give you the justice that you're looking for. But, you know, just getting mad and hyped up and you know, having marches and all that, like, I can appreciate the passion that's behind it. You know what I mean? I love that.
Right.
It's unfortunate, though. I know it's not going to get us the results that we want. Now, if all of us who was out there protesting, right, put up $100, and then we went and bought something, you know, and got some economical power, then we can make some noise. We can move forward. So group economics is the key to developing our economical power, where you can finally get some justice. And I know, when the average, black person hears stuff like this, they don't pay much attention to it until it hits home.
Jordan's got the ball.
Right. and until it hits home.
Right.
So when it becomes your nephew or your son who got caught up by the police and something was done wrong.
Right, all of a sudden.
Right, now you pumped up. Now you ready to listen. Right, now you ready to say, man, this can't keep happening.
Right.
Well, I am giving you a major solution as to solving that. It's group economics. We have to start spending with our own businesses, and we have to begin to have these type of conversations where we can begin to link up and talk. We need conversations that don't deal with entertainment.
Right.
And deal with having fun.
Tennis shoes.
Right. Like, we're going to have fun on this show, but we're going to talk about serious issues.
Right.
Things that we feel are relevant that needs to be heard. And I think group economics is the best key. Like, this is how you become a force to reckon with. It's all about money. Yeah. Remember being young and your parents would always say, it's just all about money. And it still holds true to this very day.
Right.
You know what I mean? Still holds
Don't you
true
give
to
it value, it's going to.
Right, holds true to this very day. So as far as businesses, like, I think some of the things businesses can do to bring in more black people is, first of all, like you said, Walker, make your business more readily available so it can be seen. Blackbytheman.com is a great way to do that. Join the movement, support it, donate, buy a t-shirt, buy a wristband, place an ad, but support the movement. It's very important. It's to benefit all of us.
Exactly.
What do you feel about customer service from black businesses?
Well, I'll be honest, I'm one of those guys who just, I'm pretty plain. So, we're not where we need to be in general with customer service.
Right.
You can go into any store you want, gas station, fast food, and, unfortunately, we're kind of lacking in that area.
Right.
Sometimes you got the person on the other side of the counter, you can't tell whether they care about you, are they pissed off about being at the job, or they even could care less if you walk out the door or not. Unfortunately, that happens a lot.
Right.
And it's hard to change that mentality because the person on the other counter, they might be getting whatever amount of money an hour. They don't really care. That's not their career.
And that's a good point.
And they know they're going to punch out and go home and do whatever they're going to do. So it's not that ownership mentality.
Right.
That's one of the things that we struggle with. And sometimes, if, for example, our shop, the way we're situated and where we're located, it's 50 shops around us,
right,
who all have a similar mentality and approach. So when someone comes in and gets that different approach, it's sometimes just like a little shocking. Like, wait a minute, this dude is saying good morning and how you doing? And
it was unexpected, right?
Right, exactly. So if we go to the grocery store, whatever, and we get that from our people more regularly, then it's the people who are not doing it who stand out, not the other way around.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
So it's one of those things where we can do much better, but we need, push. Unfortunately, sometimes with management and ownership, if you don't have people in the stores, then you're working by yourself.
Right.
In McDonald's or wherever. And no one wants to do that. So I'll just put some bodies in there, stay open, get some money.
Right.
So unfortunately, those bodies you put in there may be not the best customer service people in the world.
Exactly.
But I got to stay open and make the dollar. That's the mentality. Me, I'm the opposite. I'd rather do it by myself and do it right until I can get that person and weed out 500 people to get the one.
Right.
Because that's the image I'm going for. But who of us are willing to do that?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. Yeah, and I think that's where the education comes in.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? This is why we have to have these discussions. You know what I mean? We got to talk about these things because I deal with so many people when I have conversations. They simply wasn't aware of the things that we talk about. So I think having a platform like this is going to serve to remove some of that ignorance.
Speaking on that, those people you speak to, are they average young people, older people, middle-aged people? What are those people?
Probably average ages between, late 20s to late 30s.
So young people? Okay.
Yeah. So, definitely younger folks than myself, even though I'm only 29. But,
I'm 19. I might be able to start driving soon.
But, that's what I come across mainly. And whenever I see an opportunity, I'll try to speak on situations. Of course, in my shop, being a private shop, I have a lot of conversations with customers, along this line. So I try to get the feedback, on what exactly they're looking for. But I definitely agree that with black businesses, when you get a black customer, you already know that customer's coming through the door with reservations.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like they showed up, they there, and they already thinking like, oh God, I hope they don't mess my order up, so forth and so on. So I'm saying, being that we know each other, we know our mindset. You know, I want to turn on the customer service even higher. You know what I mean? Because I want my people to feel like, hey, you know what, the brother treated me, you know, like I was $1 million customer. Well, to me, you are. I mean, even though you just paid for a haircut, but I appreciate you. You know what I mean? So I think a lot of the black businesses do have to become more consistent with that, and also with the hours. Me and Brother Nate discussed that before. You know, like. No consistency with the hours. You know, they supposed to be open Monday through Friday. You stop by Tuesday at 1 p.m. They close. Talking about we was out of crab cakes. You know,
Which will happen.
We ain't open no more. So we got to do better on that end. And because I think that as a race of people, like one of the things that's missing, in my opinion, in the mindset of black people when it comes to being proud to being black, right, is that they don't understand that other races will respect you more when they see you respect yourself. You get what I'm saying? So, like, my perspective, some black people think I'm strong. You understand what I mean? Like, you know, Mike's pretty strong. He's pretty opinionated. Well, I mean, I have to be, man. You know what I mean? And when other races see my perspective, they respect it because they know I'm just playing the game the way that they play it. You know what I mean? But it's so different for black people.
Because they're not used to it.
They're not used to it. You know, like one of my customers, big up to Alan, Puerto Rican brother, right? I tried to explain it to him in this way. I said, listen, Alan, as a Puerto Rican brother, right? When you see another Puerto Rican brother coming your way, right? And he rocking Puerto Rican music. You know, Boricua this, you know what I mean? He got on the flag hanging from his rearview mirror. You know, he's got on a shirt with the Puerto Rican flag on it. Like, this dude is repping, right? Puerto Ricans are very proud people, you know, and that's good, right? I said, how do you feel when you see that? He said, I feel good. You know what I mean? I feel good. You know, that's my brother, my Puerto Rican brother, you know. He representing with the flag, so forth and so on. I said, exactly. That makes you feel good. I said, that does not make black people feel good.
Nope.
He said, no, because he didn't know. He Puerto Rican, right? And he from Puerto Rico. He didn't know. He said, no. I said, if a brother is coming towards a group of black people and he got on the red, black, and green shirt, he got the flag rocking, this dude pumping some black music, he got on a shirt, says, I love to be black. I said, black people shy away from that. They look at that and be like, oh, man, here come Brother X. Brother man, look, I'm going to holler at y'all. Let me go and get up out of there. So he started laughing. He was like, that's crazy. I said, that is crazy. But that shows you how the other races are proud to be who they are. And black people feel like you cross the line if you come off like, I'm black. You know what I mean? I tell white people all the time, listen, I didn't ask to be black. I just got lucky. Right? I just got lucky. You know what I'm saying? Right, Jay got that on right now. I just got lucky. So he wasn't aware of that. And that's what I'm saying, you know, and he's a Puerto Rican brother, been around black people his whole life, so forth and so on, but he didn't know just that little subtle difference. I said, oh yeah, we're not proud of that. I said, black people shy away from that. You know what I mean? Last thing they want to be associated with is a brother or a sister who's proud to be black. And we got to remove that mentality, because where did that come from? Right. That was put in your mind.
Right. It didn't come from us.
It was put in your mind.
Your family will turn against you.
That's right. You know, I've been called militant before, right? And the brother who said it to me, I told him, I said, listen, you know, I see where you're coming from, but you got to understand that terminology was given to you by your oppressor. Wow. It's your oppressor who taught you that when one of your brothers or sisters rise up and begin to be proud of who they are and try to do something for y'all, you label him as militant, you know. And I told him, I said, but listen, understand this. If it wasn't for brothers and sisters who possess the spirit that I possess, you guys possess, Brother Nate possess, who you know, are not afraid to speak on certain situations, I said, brother, you wouldn't even been able to be here and call me militant, because you've been in the cotton field. Because coming out of that cotton field didn't come from brothers like you. It came from brothers like me, who stood up and said, we ain't doing this. You understand what I mean? Not today. So that's what I mean. We are so mentally brainwashed not to be proud of who we are. And I'm trying to change that. I'm trying to really brainwash you. I'm trying to wash your brain of some of the filth and toxins that was put in it. The same ones that was put in mine. You know what I mean? And it took for elders and other people to educate me on it, to make me realize I got to change the way I think. You know what I mean? Like these people have conditioned me to feel a certain way, and I just refuse to be on that path anymore. You know what I mean? And it's very enlightening when you can feel good about being who you are.
Amongst other people who feel like you too.
Right.
And speaking on that conditioning, keep in mind that conditioning didn't happen overnight.
No.
It happened over a lot of years, centuries, etc. So it's not going to change overnight.
Right.
But this change has to start.
It's got to start. And I think the first place it has to start is by us not being afraid to talk about it. You know, so this is why, you know, I created the Black by the Man radio show, so we can talk about things like this. And I know even today there are some people watching this that are a little uncomfortable, you know. And if you are uncomfortable, let me look at the camera.
This is not for you then.
I'm sorry you're uncomfortable.
Mike, as we used to say back in the day, you know, I heard you say it plenty of times, and I've said it too. What's the phrase? The revolution ain't for everybody.
That's right. The revolution ain't for everybody.
Right.
But it will be televised. You know, it ain't for everybody, but it's for us. I just don't want us to continue to be afraid to be involved in things that benefit us and us only. I understand people have jobs, and nobody's asking you to go to work tomorrow looking like Marcus Garvey.
Right.
You know, like, don't be stupid, keep your job. You know that stuff puts people in fear, you know. But in your spare time, you know, you should be able to, you know, be a black person, be proud to be black, and get involved in things that's going to help benefit your people, because that's what everybody else is doing.
Right.
All the other races do things to move their race forward except us.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Black people actually think it's racist to focus on just black people,
right?
You know, which is just the craziest thing ever. But those are comments I've had made to me before. I've even seen Dr. Claude Anderson speak on him receiving comments like that, and he's very politically correct with everything that he says. But his whole basis is for us. You know what I mean? You can't be afraid to be for us. We don't have to be against anyone.
Right.
We just have to be for us.
I mean, perfect example I like to use is just because you're trying to save the dolphins don't mean screw the octopus.
Don't mean you got to screw the octopus, brother. I like that.
You know?
Save the dolphin. So look, we're going to go to commercial break again. We'll be back. Black by the Man, Brother Mike, Mr. Walker, Jay Capone the Barber. We'll see you in a few. Yeah, I like
The Artist Exchange Radio Show every Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., every Saturday, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Real artist, real talk, real live on BeExposedRadio.com.
As busy as you are, because they're good at itemizing their time, and they actually have a passion for what they do. One of the biggest lessons that I learned, I get to say this on Weird, was finding people who are not only interested in doing what you need to get done, but people who have a passion for it, because that will eliminate the idea of people just working for a paycheck. Right. Because when people sign up for a paycheck, we all had jobs where we slacked off, where we stole away in a little storage room.
Fell asleep.
Thank you.
I saw a meme the other day that had Bart Simpson and the little boy with the glasses. I didn't watch the show, so don't be mad at me. Don't send me no daggum messages. The little boy with the glass, Millhouse, that was his name. He's showing him a cave, and it says, when you're asked to show around the new coworker, and it says, this is where I come to cry. Cool.
Hey, there's my son. You've been in your room all morning.
Hey, Dad.
Matt, what's wrong with your voice?
There is nothing wrong with my voice.
Oh, well, it's just sort of.
I have been playing my video games and electronic games for so many hours.
Uh-huh. Well, it sounds like it might be time for you to take a break, or...
Hello, Dad.
Susan?
I have been watching TV and text messaging all morning. Yay, electronics. Yay, yay, yay.
Guys, I think it's about time to get in the car and take a little trip. Maybe see some trees, some green things.
What are these green things you speak of?
This weekend, unplug. Take your family to the forest. There's nothing in the world like experiencing nature firsthand. Trees, paths, bluebird streams, getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. To find the forest nearest you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Get out to the forest and discover the wonders of nature with your family, just like Blue, Jewel, and the whole Rio flock.
Let the kids connect to their roots. It's gonna be so much fun. Yeah! Woo-hoo!
Let's rock this jungle!
Woo!
Fresh air.
What a glorious morning!
Clean water.
Woohoo! Woo! Great!
And endless surprises.
Yo, this is untapped territory.
How amazing!
Visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
So when you get to the corner of Smith and Orchard, you're going to want to take a left.
You are not going to.
Then what you're going to
believe
do
this.
is turn onto Marcy Avenue.
Just broke up
and go past the first
apparently
3
she's
lights
happy
and then
about
take
it.
the next left.
I don't really
then drive
think
5
she's
more
happy,
blocks
but
and you should be
who
there.
am I to judge, right?
Park on the
Anyway,
right.
That's
I'll
what
see you
I heard
later
last
tonight.
night.
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at Stop Text, Stop Wreck, Stop.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back, everybody. Black by the Man Radio Show. I'm your host, Brother Mike. So in case you missed it, we were here talking about group economics and things we need to do to improve our situation. I want to take time right now to give the number for those who choose to call in. 410-702-5657. That's 410-702-5657. Feel free to call in if you have any questions or want to participate in the discussion. We want to thank everybody who has been tuning in and for our first show. In case you didn't know, this is our very first show.
Inaugural
Everyone,
show.
First time host, first time guest co-host, first time guest.
Yes, sir.
So we on here and we having some barbershop talk about some issues we feel are relevant to us as black people. In case you missed it, we spoke about group economics and supporting black businesses. So, fellas, what else do you think we need to be more educated on in order to improve our conditions as a community of people, as black people?
Improve our conditions. Well, unfortunately, the area we need to dive into is something that's going to rub some people the wrong way, but it's got to be done. We have to actually understand what others have done to us and continue to do to us.
Oh, I agree.
So it's not something that's going to make everybody feel warm and fuzzy inside.
Right.
But in order to progress yourself and your people, you have to know who's trying to oppress you and what they're doing on a regular basis.
Right, yeah. Well, you know, for me, and I'm going to play off Walker's words here. You know, this is going to rub some people. It's going to rub people differently, right? You can open the door for this, right? Here go Brother Mike. You know, my thing is you have to know who your enemy is. And, of course, when I say that, I don't mean that in any essence of hating anyone. But I'm saying in order for you to understand what you've been through, where you're heading, and where you need to be going, right? You have to accept who your enemy is. You have an enemy. As a black person, especially in the United States of America, there has been a proven enemy. Absolutely. You have an enemy. You understand what I mean? So I'm saying I don't hate anybody. But I am aware of who is against me.
Brother Mike, tell them the gazelle story and the tiger used to tell.
Yes. So when it comes to the enemy situation, right?
Y'all don't like this.
My analogy is this. You know, the elk and the deer are aware that the lion is their enemy. They're not walking around every day saying, I hate lions. You understand what I'm saying? That's not what they're doing. They're living their life, right? But they understand that when they are in the presence of that lion,
their antennas is up.
Yeah, they are now in the presence of their enemy. So in the presence of their enemy, you know, they're going to conduct themselves a certain way. Mm-hmm. And I'm saying we have yet to face that, because when you tell black people, you know, you have an enemy, the first thing they think of is hating somebody. Oh, I don't hate nobody. No, we didn't ask you to hate nobody. But you have to face the reality that there is a set of people who have done things to you to put you where you're at and to keep you there.
Right.
So how can you ever elevate yourself past that if you can't even accept who did it? All because, why? Why can't you accept it? Well, other than the fact that they psychologically trained you to accept it.
Christians.
Right, you know what I'm saying? You know, but the reality is a lot of black people, because they think it means they can't be friends with Becky. They think it means, you know, that, you know, the Dakota can't come to their wedding now. You understand what I'm saying? And that's not what it means. You know, like we don't harbor no hatred for nobody, but we understand who's been our oppressor. So until we can face that, and we find it hard to face that, we are scared to face that. And it's very puzzling to me, because I don't understand what else needs to be done to you for you to recognize that there are forces at work that want to prevent you from moving forward. I mean, these are the same forces that enslaved you, murdered you, raped you, oppressed you, molested you, you know what I mean, psychologically damaged you. Like, what else is there for them to do for you to see, you know, what the reality is? So I'm saying, when you understand who your enemy is, now you can begin to build a defense, and even better yet, an offense.
Right.
But if you can't accept who your enemy is, you have no chance of moving forward.
Impossible.
Because you can't face the reality of who keep busting you upside your head. You know what I mean?
You're just on a treadmill. You're going to get a lot of run, but you're not going nowhere.
You're not going nowhere. So I think we have to face reality, and I think education is a key. Stockholm Syndrome plays a major part with that. You know, like we've been taught to love those who you know, are not loving us.
Right.
You know, and it's just to a point now where we have to realize, look, love those who are going to love you.
Right.
You know, for them people that's not going to love you and going to try to label you and make you out to be something you're not,
screw them.
Yeah, you don't have to love them.
You don't have to.
You understand what I mean? You don't have to love them. But you got to recognize what's what in order to even get in the game. You know, to get in the game, you got to know who you're dealing with.
Absolutely.
I mean, as a black person, we've all had personal experiences with everything from discrimination to racism to just flat out lies. But again, this is why we got the Black by the Man radio show. We now have a platform where we can discuss these things. If I made anyone uncomfortable with what you heard, you know,
it's not the intent.
It's not the intent. You know, I apologize if your feelings were hurt, but you need to tighten them feelings up a little bit.
Well, it's mine.
Right.
I hope your feelings get hurt. Do something about it.
You say, Jay, you hope it?
Do something about it.
Right, yeah. Get mad, put your energy towards something that's going to benefit us as a whole, because we have to get away from just looking at ourselves as individuals.
Right.
Because we all got kids. You know, whether it's your kids or your nephews,
and that's
your little cousins, right? You know, so we got to begin to try to build differently for them. You know, we can't just keep passing on the same advice, or you know, on how we're supposed to handle things. We gotta make things different. So look, we're going to break again for commercial break, and then we're gonna come back. Oh, we got a caller. Okay.
Hello.
Headphones here. Hold on, we got a caller. We live, y'all.
Hello?
Hello, I can hear you, caller. Can you hear me?
Oh, yes.
How you doing, brother?
This is, I'm doing all right. This is Cleo Graham, South Austin, Georgia.
What's up, bro?
How you doing, Cleo?
What's going on, brother?
Thank you for calling.
Hey, man, chilling. Hey, I'm another barber brother in the community.
All right, the brother in the building.
Oh, yeah, you know it. The question I have is, why is it in the black community that the parents have such a hard time on making the demand on what their children are going to do? For instance, you know, the examples I use, you know, like Tiger Woods, he could have been something else, but his daddy made him a golfer.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Michael Jackson, you know, Michael Jackson could have did a whole bunch, but he, you know, Joe Jackson made his children entertainers for their sake so they could live. I feel like, you know, us as entrepreneurs, we give the option to our children on doing whatever they want to do, and it changes the career path, because back in the day, and if you look at certain big names that's in your city, you'll notice that, you know, the family name carried for years and years and years. The reason that happens in that community, without even saying it's the enemy, you know what I mean? We know who it is. With that big name being there, what's happening is the family is demanding their kids to become part of that family business.
Yes, very true.
What I've noticed is we give our children too many options, and we let them go do something. You see what I'm saying? We let them go do something else. Now we're sitting here with this multi-billion-dollar industry called barbering and cosmetology, and I'm using my business as an example. And we'll let our kids go do something else.
Very true, brother.
And
Very
let our knowledge go to waste. And then when we die, somebody else takes over that don't even know us.
Don't even know. Yeah, I agree.
Don't
brother.
even know
I think that's a wonderful question. For those who didn't hear it, the brother basically said, you know, why are we giving our kids so many options when you look at certain individuals? Like the parents decided for them, this is what they're going to do. One of the ones that comes to mind with me is with football. You got Peyton Manning and you got Eli Manning. And their father was a quarterback. So what's the chances that both of them ended up being a quarterback in the NFL? And I think it was because, like you said, he didn't leave them an option. He said, this is what you're going to be. And you're right.
Exactly.
You do need to recognize that leaving these choices up to the kids all the time ain't going to work. So, brother, do me a favor. I'm going to put you on hold while we go to commercial break, and we're going to get into answering that question. And thank you for calling in, but hold on for me. We'll be right back.
Check out what you missed on Be Exposed Radio.
Are you getting your kids this hoverboard thing that's taken over the country? They range from $300 to $600. They're blowing up. And then I mean literally blowing up. That one video, I thought that was going to be the one and only video that I saw in reference to it, and it wasn't. I seen. Now I could probably tell you about 10 to 15 videos of this happening where this battery gets super, super hot and burns like holes into your tennis shoes.
Oh my.
And I know you would be pissed if you was wearing Jordans and you just paid all that money, you know, your lights are off. And
Especially if they're from China.
Your lights off.
Check out the Talk Lately show every Tuesday nights from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. right here on BeExposedRadio.com.
Check out this flashback of the Artist Exchange Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com.
So we're going to get a little bit into the album with Miss Amira and learn the basis of it, the Banji soul of it all. So let us know, first of all, what is Banji soul?
Banji soul is basically just real. It's real soul. It's real. It's not cut down. It's not watered down. It's, you know, how as hot as it came off of my mind and my heart, that's what it is. And a lot of the times I get a little tangy, you know, banji, ratchet, whatever, how you like to put it, classify it, but I like to say banji, you know, because I'm classy.
Banji is a little classier.
It's a little classier. That's got your pinky up. Got your pinky up with that.
Okay, we got to keep the bees, the bougie, the banji.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back, family, to the Black by the Man radio show. I'm your host, Brother Mike. In case you missed anything, this is our first show. We've been touching on supporting black businesses. We also been touching on what can these black businesses do to draw in more of the black community, as well as grouponomics. We want to take time out to give recognition to some of the people who have stayed with us during the show, and we want to let you guys know who we're here with today. Again, my first guest co-host is Mr. Walker Stanton, aka Mr. Walker of the Fade and Theory Barbershop, which is go ahead, give the address again, Walker.
Absolutely, 4534 and a half Harford Road, right in Baltimore. The little city is Lauraville.
There you go, the Fade and Theory Barbershop. Walker's a great barber, and we also have my man Jay Capone, the barber of Top of the Line Cuts. Jay, go ahead, give your address where you at, brother.
Yes, sir. It's 1205 South Philadelphia Boulevard, Aberdeen, Maryland.
All right. So whether you're trying to get a cut here in Baltimore or one down in up in Harford County, Two great barbers here. We want to give recognition to some of the people that have been with us on the show today. Jay, your wife's been tuning in. Miss Katia Copeland, thank you for tuning in with us. I got my uncle on here, Charles Green Jr., Mr. Doug Jr. We want to thank all y'all for being on here with us and keeping up with us. It's our first show, so we're trying to make it educational for everybody and talk about some things. So we had a caller online, Nate. So the caller said, why is it that we are giving our kids options? You still with us here, brother?
Yeah.
You hear me, caller?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah, but brother, I thought you had a great question, man, and I agree 100%. I mean, it's one thing if you happen to have a child that kind of is streamlined in a certain direction and kind of know what they want to do, but most cases that's not true. And sometimes we do got to take control and say, listen, you're going to have to learn this. I mean, that's pretty much what I told my son in regards to barbering. You know, you can't let me as your father be a barber, and then you don't even know how to pick up a pair of clippers. We got to force him in that direction. You still there, brother? Can you hear me, brother? Caller, you still there?
Oh, yeah. The phone was breaking up a little bit.
Was it breaking up? So, yeah, I was just touching on your question and saying how, you know, I agree with it 100%. Walker, how you feel about the brother's question? Jay will do you next.
I mean, it's a question that a lot of people, you know, feel, and I'm glad he actually said it. And the thing is, we try so hard to be friends with our kids. Mm-hmm. We want to be their buddy. Sometimes, you know, as a parent, you're not, you know, the good guy because you're saying, go do this as opposed to what you want to do.
Right.
Sometimes that doesn't feel good. We're human, and we want the love from our kid. We want the you're the greatest. We want all that. And sometimes you got to put your foot down and say, no, this is what you're going to do. You're going to either go to this school, you're going to go to this trade, or you're going to do this, and you'll thank me for this later. You know, you don't want to do it now, but that's what the backbone comes from. Stand up and tell them to do it.
All right. So, Cleo, you feel like we answered your question, brother? You still there, caller? Okay, I think we might have lost him. Yeah, Cleo, if you can hear me, call back, brother. We'll get you back on the line. So, yeah, that was his question as far as why we offering so many options to our kids. And I think sometimes we got to make them realize, hey, this is a path I think you'd be good at. Right. You need to get on this. Jay, you got two young boys, man. So tell me about how you going to approach this with them.
Well, as always, I talk to my kids. My oldest son, he said, Daddy, I want to be a chef. I said, okay, cool. You can do that.
Right.
And I wanted to do that early so when it's high school time, I can say, all right, you still want to be a chef? Right. I can fully be behind you and push you in the right direction. Mm-hmm. So it won't need you to go to college to be an engineer when you don't want to be an engineer.
Right.
Or you don't want to be a barber. Mm-hmm. I don't have no problem with you going chef. That's fine.
Right.
You could branch off and do your own thing. But my youngest son, he did come say, Dad, I want to be a barber.
Right.
All right. Cool.
Nice.
I can give you the old blueprint.
Right.
I can give you my shop.
Yeah.
I can give you my clientele.
That's right.
So, you off running.
Right.
So,
and he can be an entrepreneur.
Right.
Because, you know, having that license.
Because in this field, like I tell everybody, I can work hard and show my work. And other jobs I had, I would get fired or people trying to fire you or whatnot.
Taking credit for your work.
Taking credit for your work. And you doing above and beyond. But they'll fire you a drop of the hat. And then you doing good work, but you can't really show it. Right. That's why I love my job, because I'm in a position to hire and fire. So if you're a felon, I can hire you.
Right.
I don't need to know what you did.
Mm-hmm.
I just need to know where you want to be.
Right.
So in this field, if you want to make $1 million and being a barber, it's possible and you can do it.
Definitely possible.
Right.
It's definitely possible.
There's nobody holding you back in this field.
Right, and it's kind of recession-proof what we do, because whoever's still making money is going to need a haircut.
Exactly.
So we're going to be in the game no matter what's going on. But I definitely agree with what you're saying, and it offers opportunity to be a business owner.
Right.
You know, which we need more of.
Right.
You know, like as black people, we got plenty of people with jobs.
Mm-hmm.
We know how to get jobs. We know how to get the education and go get the job. But at the end of the day, you cannot pass a job on to your children.
Nope.
You understand what I'm saying? So it's got to be a percentage of us that's more interested in being entrepreneurs, so we can get these businesses up and running off the ground. So that way, by the time little JJ get grown, and then if one of your kids decide, well, I'm gonna go get the master's degree, maybe they can bring that back to a black business instead of going and getting that master's degree and then helping another race of people make millions of dollars while they pay you a little bit of crumbs off of it. You understand what I mean? Off your hard work.
They're making money off of you still.
Right. So it'd be nice to have the youngins bring that education that they receive back to your business, and that's how we can grow as a people, because everybody can't be just employees. Right. You know, some of us got to be entrepreneurs.
Right.
So I think when you get into trades, like you said about barbering, as well as any other type of trade, it definitely offers a better opportunity to be the boss. You know, to be the boss. Okay, we had somebody said can't pass a job. Am I reading that correctly on here?
Yeah, that's Cleo right there.
Oh, is that Cleo? Yeah, very true, Cleo. Yep. You definitely can't pass a job. You don't want to be stupid. We got to make that money. You know, but I like what the brother said. You can breed a gift into your child. Yeah, that's very true, brother. You know, and that's what we got to take more control of our kids, like he was saying, and not just leaving it up to the kid to figure out what they want to do. Right. I mean, you know your child, you know, so you know, yeah, you know what your child might be proficient at, and not, so forth and so on.
Because I wanted, me personally, I wanted the option of, all right, you're not going to be an NBA player, you're not going to be NFL. Now, in my case, that's what all I was thinking. But I had a major injury that signed me line. So what else I got? And luckily, I fell into being a barber. Right. And that being a barber opened so many doors for me. I get to meet people. I got out of my shyness. I met friends that turned into family.
Got you a little more outgoing.
Yeah, so it was a blessing in disguise.
Yes.
So I don't even pick up a ball no more because that's not my dream. I pick up clippers.
And they don't quite get, like, we not just barbers. Barbers are also your therapists. You know, we hear it all. you know how the therapists say, come sit in my chair. Well, that's what we do too. Come sit in my chair. Right. And people tend to open up to us. Like the experiences I've had talking to people in, you know, as a barber, it's mind blowing. You know, like I had to realize just how much a customer will just open up to me. You know what I mean? And I had to really start making sure I respect confidentiality.
Yeah, you
got to. You know what I mean? Like, you know, because they'll tell you something. You know, I had a customer, you know, come in one time and, you know, I'm like, how's everything going? You know, and he's like, man, my wife cheating on me. I said, oh, well, let me shut the door. Let me shut the door. You know, we can get into this. But that's what I mean. You know, therapist. And for that person, it was therapeutic to be able to vent that to somebody, you know, so forth and so on. So, we do some things. We do some things. So, yeah, Cleo, man, I definitely appreciate you participating here, man. Mr. Cleo Graham. Because this is our first show. We wasn't sure if we was actually going to get a caller. So I'm very thankful that you called in. It was a great question, brother. We loved discussing it. You know, so please stay with us and participate even more. So group economics is what we left off with, gentlemen.
Absolutely.
And things we need to do better with these businesses and practice group economics. So I want to say one way to get involved with group economics is definitely blackbydemand.com. Place an ad on there if you want to sell something. If you're a business owner, place an ad on there to advertise your business so that African Americans can find it. Now, the website itself is used by everybody. So, you know, you place an ad on there for your business. It's not just going to attract African Americans, but we want it to be a focal point where you can find that black business, because everybody needs black businesses. You know, black people, white people, Asian people, we all need black businesses. You know, so blackbytheman.com is where you can find that. If none of that fits you to place an ad or to or have something to sell or a job posting, you can support the movement by simply hitting the donate button on blackbytheman.com and just be a part of helping our people do better as a community of people. So we got 2 minutes before we go to the next break. Unfortunately, Mr. Walker here is going to be leaving us when we come back from the next break. So I want to plug him one more time for those who don't know. Our guest co-host is Mr. Walker Stanton, a.k.a. Mr. Walker. Walker has the Fading Theory Barbershop. And Walker, you can give the address again?
Sure. And we're located at 4534 and a half Harford Road, right down the street from Moravia. You can visit us at www.thefadingtheory.com. And you also can download our free app on Android and iOS right at the website, so that way you can get in touch with us and book appointments, etc.
Very nice, very nice. Nothing better than a black entrepreneur, you know. So Mr. Walker here is a great entrepreneur. He's also a great barber. If you get a chance, definitely stop by his shop. Solicit this brother, patronize him. You know, get your kids a haircut, get a haircut. You know, and you can feel good about being a part of this movement. So Walker, we want to thank you for being here, brother.
I'm glad to be
here,
though
brother. You won't finish out the last couple minutes, but it was great having you here, man. You've been a great guest co-host.
I made history, bro.
You made history today. History's been made today with the Black by the Man radio show. So we're going to go ahead and go to commercial break, and afterwards me and Mr. Jay Capone here will still be here, and we're going to finish up with you guys. Again, this is the Black by the Man radio show. I'm your host, Brother Mike, with my co-host, Mr. Walker Stanton, and my guest, Mr. Jay Capone, the barber. Only on BeExposedRadio.com. We'll be back in a few.
Join the club that gives you stuff.
Hey, thanks!
Radio Loyalty.
Here's how it works.
Just click on the Radio Loyalty banner right now and sign up. Then, you keep on listening like you already do. But now you earn points. Those points add up, and you can trade them in for stuff in the Radio Loyalty store. Earn more points by sharing your station with friends on Facebook and Twitter, answering surveys, and by using the apps in the New Players App Store. Pretty simple, right?
Radio Loyalty.
Click that banner to join now.
Check out what you missed on Be Exposed Radio.
Listen to Elizabeth Warren talking about Black lives and Black life.
Police are not occupying armies. This is America, not a war zone. I speak today with full knowledge that I have not personally experienced and can never truly understand the fear, the oppression, and the pain that confronts African Americans every day.
Don't you just want to kill yourself? I mean, not from what she was saying, but from the music that was playing in the background. I just want to, gosh, but every word she said was prolific, and it did not come from what is now becoming mainstream as white privilege. She has a sensibility about her, and the way she speaks about different things that has, from the first time I saw her, I can't remember what state she's in. I think she's in like North Carolina or something like that, somewhere I'm not going. That some kind of sensibility about her that makes me like her for president. But she's not running. We have this old guy that looks like he should be on the popcorn box. Then we have Martin O'Malley. Fine. We'll settle if we must. Hillary, who I like, but she just has to fight against all this controversy, and that's the hard part of it all. Then we have Huckabee. I could have swore he died, like in one of those books, like a fairy tale book. Trump, we'll get to you in a moment. Meet with all these black folk in one room, and they just fell for it. Like, he must have been giving out $100 bills behind that.
Check out the Talk Lately show every Tuesday nights from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. right here on BeExposedRadio.com.
Whoa. The moment my son saw a redwood tree.
It's huge!
Is the moment I knew that for him,
You can't even see the top of that thing!
even the sky has no limit.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go. Your moment is out there. Find it at discovertheforest.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
And we have a full house tonight. My co-host Leslie Swirl and Miss Lasha G, y'all already know.
Hey.
Tony Bling, y'all already know. But I have with me Mr. Paul Jackson.
Yes, ma'am.
And my brother, Mr. Kevin Little here.
Well, all right.
So I'm quite sure this is going to be a hot topic. I'm very excited about today's show. And I'm also excited because for the first time, the men outnumber the women.
That is true. Wow, I didn't even notice that.
Finally. Because that took some... This is the first time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I was like, wait a minute, maybe I messed up. Finally, the men outnumber the women. And I really want that.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Hey, welcome back, family. This is Brother Mike with the Black by the Man radio show. I want to welcome everybody back. So in case you missed it, our co-host had to leave a little early, Mr. Walker Stanton of the Fading Theory Barbershop. We've been having a great conversation today. I thank everybody who's participating, everybody who's listening. We've been talking about group economics, what we can do more to support black businesses, what black businesses can do more of. So I want to get back to, with the black businesses, what they can do, what black businesses can do to kind of draw in more black people to support them. So I think the first thing that I would recommend is, recognizing where the complaints are at. Right. So when I talk to black people about doing business with black businesses, some of the complaints that I have encountered are the hours are not normal hours. Like they don't operate according to the hours they put on the door. Mm-hmm. Customer service. Customer service is a big one.
It goes a long way.
Goes a long way. And then I've also heard about pricing. They feel like things are too high. But I think that customer service one hits home more than anything. There's no easier way to make a black person not want to come to your business, again, as a black business, than if they don't receive proper customer service. Right. So, Jay, do you have any situations off the top of your head where you dealt with a black business and you felt like, see, I'm trying to patronize them, and then they're not in here treating me right? Can you think of any situation? They say, Nate, you can? Yeah, feel free to chime in, Nate. Nate's on the engineer board today, in case y'all didn't know.
For one instance, my wife, she's get her nails done now by somebody's black. Mm-hmm. They out there in I want to say Essex County or something like that. Mm-hmm. It's a good shop. I like the atmosphere. They give you wine, they give you cupcakes, they give you all that. But if we're there on time, say 12 o'clock, she don't get in the chair till 1 o'clock.
Right.
We don't leave till like 4 o'clock.
Right.
And I know the Koreans can get you done and in and out in an hour.
See, now did y'all hear that? See, this brother is trying to deal with his wife getting her nails done at a black nail shop, but he's saying they not owning up to having good time management, right? They're having you there too long. And I think the nail industry is one of the industries we need to take back.
Right.
Because our black women spend a lot of money on that. So anybody out there that's listening, if you have a skill set to do nails,
do it.
Yeah, you should definitely try to get that going in the direction
they get paid.
where we can get a black business, opening up behind that. I definitely would do anything I could through Black by the Man to help you. So anybody out there that's listening about nails or any business perspective, you can email me at blackbydemand, the number 4, the letter U, at Gmail. So that's blackbydemand, 4U, at gmail.com, because that is an area that we need to take back. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's definitely not good. I've also heard that complaint in regards to salons. Like black women spend a lot of time in salons, so I think from what I've gotten, from what I've heard, they understand they're going to be there for a few hours. So they already then, allotted a time frame, or I might be here for 3 to 5 hours. But then they end up being there for 10.
Yeah, that's
10 to 12 hours, right? So we got to do better on that end, So you're going to lose out if you're going to allow a black person to compare their experience with your business to the experience that they receive when they deal with businesses for other races.
Right.
You know, so if that other race is offering better customer service, you stand a chance at losing a customer. You know, you stand a chance at losing a customer. So we got to do better with that customer service to make that black person feel, you know, these people treated me like I was, you know, $1 million customer.
Right.
You know, so I try to make sure I treat all my customers, you know, very fair, you know, complete courtesy, you know, to show them I appreciate them coming to me. It's a lot of barbers out here. They didn't have to come to me.
Right.
So I'm going to give you the best customer service I got, whether you
Right.
black, white, or whoever, because I cut everybody.
Yeah,
But yeah, that seems to be an area that we are lacking at, that needs improvement.
Yeah, because there's always room for an improvement. But you know, if that was you getting that service, would you do that to yourself?
Right. I think we have to stop thinking, as far as the perspective of those who own the business, that it's not a big deal if you offend your people. And it is. And it is. It's a big deal. And I think that's what happens. Like, they look at it like, you know, oh, it's just another black person. So they understand. You know what I mean? We running a little bit behind. And I mean, that may be true, but they want to see you play the game and treat it as if they don't know, and just say, hey, listen, sorry it took so long, I apologize.
And that's, yeah,
you know, we're going to knock
gotta do that.
5% off your price, you know, but show them some type of customer service that makes you feel remorseful that they ended up staying there longer than they anticipated, or the people, you know, wasn't, you know, ready for their appointment, you know, so forth and so on. I think we get in that comfort zone, and we got to get out of that. You know, like, a lot of us come from certain backgrounds. A lot of us got hood in us,
Right.
but all black people ain't from the hood. So they
this is business.
yeah, it's business. So you can't look at, well, he from around the way. He know what's up. No, he's a customer.
Yeah.
He's a
That's
customer.
still not an excuse.
Yeah, it's definitely not an excuse. I have a problem with the consistency. Like, I've dealt with black restaurants, you know, and I love their food, you know, and I might get it on Monday and tell somebody else about it, and then Thursday they're like, well, let's go check it out. And I'm bragging about the mac and cheese and the collard greens, right? And then you get there and they're like, well, we ain't got no more mac and cheese. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I specifically came here for the mac and cheese. You ain't got no more, you know, and that happens more than not. You know, it's like the ice cream machine in McDonald's, you know what I mean? It just don't never work. You can't never get one. So yeah, I think we definitely got to do better with customer service, you know, in order to make black people realize that we want their business. We got to stop being business owners who think, you know, we only got to cater to the other races to get their money.
No,
black people want to spend money with you as well, right? And we should be the main focus anyway, as far as trying to give the great customer service. Like, I'm going to turn it up. If I got to deal with a black person, I'm going to give you extra special customer
That's the thing,
service.
too, because the way I kind of say break down the wall, because the stereotypes, when I hand out my card, I let them know what I can do. But I also say, if you don't like it, you don't have to pay for it.
Right. If you're not satisfied.
I let that guard down and say, all right,
Right.
I'm going to give them a shot.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I'm not going to let you walk out with something you're not satisfied with.
Right, you gotta be
know what
happy,
I mean?
right.
So I'm going to do my best by mine and my people, too. So.
Okay, so y'all hearing it first from a couple of barbers. So if barbers, if we can recognize that we got to do better with customer service and try to do better, and we got the most laxed environment of all. I mean, it's a barbershop, but even we still feel we want to offer the customer great service. So we're going to finish this discussion after we come back from this break. Brother Mike, Black by Demand Radio Show, guest Jay Capone, the barber.
Dessert.
Oh, this is the last segment? Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, we on our last segment. Ain't going to be no commercial break. All right, well, thanks, everybody, for tuning in. I definitely want to thank my man, Jay Capone, the barber here, for sitting in with me, Jay, on my first show.
Yes, sir.
You know, this is History in the Making. It's the Black by Demand radio show, sponsored by blackbydemand.com. And we looking forward to having some more of these conversations, man. I hope y'all tune in. For my people out there, I hope we have met your approval today with the discussion that we've had. We're trying to bring forth some things that we feel are relevant that's only going to improve us. We're never out to offend anybody, just to educate and keep things moving forward. So, again, please check out blackbydemand.com. Support the movement. Buy a T-shirt, buy a wristband, place an ad. Call in to the Black by Demand radio show. I'll be here every Monday from noon to 2 p.m., only on BeExposedRadio.com. Nate, I want to thank you, brother, for being the engineer today. And this has been great, man. I'm looking forward to diving into some things. If you guys got some topics that you feel you want me to cover that are relevant, feel free to hit me up at blackbydemand4u@gmail.com. That's blackbydemand, the number 4, the letter U @gmail.com. So we're going to wrap it up, man. Show number 1, episode 1, Black by Demand Radio Show. Brother Mike, thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I'll see you guys Monday, and we're going to get into some other things. Black by Demand Radio, y'all. Peace. Word. We made it.
Out this flashback of the Artist Exchange Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com.
How did you know that this is what you wanted to do as far as being a singer or entertainer?
It's always been in me. It's always been a part of who I am since a child. Since a child, I've always gotten karaoke